welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm so excited to share with you the book series that I'm planning to start, or I should say, pick back up this year. Now, I'll be covering some of the series that I want to start this year, and then I'm gonna move on to the series that I'll be picking back up or continuing on from 2024. So make sure to grab a drink, whatever that is, coffee, tea, get cozy, and let's dive in. The first series is The Burning by Even Winter. The first book is The Rage of Dragons. This is an African-inspired fantasy that's packed with fast-paced action and a story of revenge. We follow Tao, a young warrior that starts out seeking a simple life but is driven by tragedy to pursue vengeance. Now, I haven't read the book yet, but I heard really good things about it. And this is one of those series that I said I'm gonna get the book and I'll get to it, but guess what? It never happened. But this year it will happen. One of my goals is to start and finish some of the series that I started in 2024, and this one definitely will make it. I'm not saying I'm gonna finish it, but I'm definitely going to be picking it up. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos so that we can discuss some of the series. The next series that I want to start in 2025 is Empire of the Wolf by Richard Swan. This series follows Sir Conrad Bombalt, a fear justice that covers a conspiracy reaching the highest levels of power. It is a tale of law, loyalty, and the cost of protecting an empire. The mix of mystery and high-stakes fantasy really intrigues me. And can we please talk about this cover, how gorgeous it is? I mean, it is one of the most beautiful covers that I have seen, and that is the first thing that really got my attention. It was the cover because gorgeous. I know he's starting a new series this year. I believe the book comes out in February and it's The Grave Empire or something like that. I need to jump into this one before I jump into that one. I'm not really sure if they are related or not, but definitely I need to jump into this one. Yes. I mean, The Justice of Kings is the first book in this series. So I love this cover so much. It's like vibes, you know, the vibes of this cover. Anyways, continuing on, the next series is Cautious Dark by Jacqueline Carey. Fedre, a courtesan and spy, uncovers a conspiracy threatening her homeland. Trained in politics and intrigue, her journey is full of betrayal, danger, and heroism. The lush world building and compelling character arc make this series a must read for fans of intricate, character-driven fantasy. I did read the first chapter on this one, but back, I think it was last year or the year before, I started reading it, but I had a mass paperback, and I hate those unless they are historical romance. I do not like those mass paperbacks. So when I heard that there was gonna be new paperbacks with covers, with beautiful covers, I was just like, I think I'm gonna wait until those comes out, collect them, and then jump right back. But of course, it never happened. So this year, I'm going to start reading the first book, which is The Cautious Dark, and that is the name of the series, and it's by Jacqueline Carey. And it's a little bit dark. I believe there's some BDSM. When I first picked up and I started reading the first chapter, I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be dark and I think I'm going to enjoy it. So right from the get-go, you get that dark vibe. So I cannot wait to jump back into this series. Now, before we continue on, if you're enjoying this video, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. This helps the channel grow. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know which series you think I should prioritize, or if you read any of the series that I have mentioned so far. Leave that in the comments below. So now I have a new series, and that is The Shadows of the Leviathan, I believe it is. I don't have the book, so I'm not really 100%, but I think that is what it's called. And the first book is The Tainted Cup. This is a murder mystery set in a rich fantasy world that follows Anna, a brilliant detective who always wears a blindfold, and her assistant Dinios, a man with a magically perfect memory. When a high-ranking officer is found dead with a tree growing from his body, the duo uncovers a dangerous web of magic, lies, and murder that threatens the empire. The second book is A Drop of Corruption, and it comes out, let's see, on April 1st, so I need to jump into this one. I mean, I don't know how many books, if this is gonna be, I believe this is gonna be a trilogy, so I think I still have time, but I'm still going to be collecting the first two books. I just haven't gotten into it. I do have a book haul coming up, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Now that we talked about all the new series that I want to start this year, let's go and jump into the series that I want want to continue on from 2024. These are some of the series that I really love, but for whatever reason, because new shiny books put in front of my face, I wasn't able to finish them, but definitely I will continue on this year. So the first series is A Chorus of Dragon by Jen Lyons. The first book is The Ruins of Kings. I really love that book. I read it. I did finish the whole entire first book, but for whatever reason, I think at the time I did not have all the books. Since then, I have collected the books, but I'm still missing like maybe one or two, but I'm going to be correcting that because I want to jump back into the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be rereading the first book, which is The Ruin of Kings, but let me tell you what this series is about. A Chorus of Dragons kicks off with Kieran recounting his past to his captor Talon through a complex of narrative structure involving 3 timelines. Then shifting perspective, footnotes, and body swapping make it a uniquely layered story. The footnotes, it doesn't really bother me. Like, well, I shouldn't say that, because I read a contemporary romance and it had footnotes and it was just really throwing me off. But when it comes to the fantasy, I have no problems having the footnotes. It was really interesting going and reading the footnotes. I started like tabbing and then I just stopped for whatever reason. But I cannot wait to dive into this world because I really, really enjoyed it the first time I read it. So this will be a reread and then I will continue on with the series. Another series that I want to continue on in 2025 is The Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. So in the first book, in Empire of Silence, we follow Hadrian Marlowe and he recounts how he became both a hero and a villain in the galaxy's history. From escaping his father's plan to fighting as a gladiator and being pulled into war, Hadrian's journey is epic and transformative. This series is an unforgettable mix of space opera and fantasy. I was so intimidated by these books, and now that I've been reading them, I just fly by them. It's just like I go in and I get lost in the story, and if you haven't picked it up, if you're intimidated by the size, don't. You're gonna love it. Right now, I'm scheduled to read Demon in White. I'm running out of time in January. By the time I'm finishing this, it doesn't look like I'm going to get to it in January, but we shall see when I do my January wrap up. But I'm absolutely loving the series so far. I have read, I believe, book 1, 2 novellas, book 2, and I'm jumping into book 3. So yeah, once I finish all the series, which I'm planning to do once the last book comes out, I will make a video talking about how I felt about the series, but so far I have to say I'm loving the series so much. Now, the next series is one that I also read the first book, but for whatever reason, I didn't continue on with the trilogy, and this is Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. The first book is The Dragonborn Share and is by Tad Williams. In The Dragonborn Share, as Ostenar faces the threat of war, Simon, a kitchen boy, is caught up in a conflict that will shape the future of the realm. So we follow Simon. He was the kitchen boy, and I just love coming of age stories. Those are one of my favorite stories to read. This was a very slow pace, so I understand it's not going to be for everybody. It actually at the end pays up because the story picks up in the second half, I believe. If I'm not, I read this like a couple of years ago, but it was really good, and I cannot wait to continue on because I keep thinking like what happened to Simon after, no spoilers. So I just cannot wait to continue on. But yeah, I love the Dragonborn Share, and I cannot wait to go back into it. The next in the series is one that I keep thinking about it, and I just adore. I love the first book, and we follow like very morally gray characters, and that is The First Law by Joe Abercrombie. The first book is The Blade Self. In Blade Self, we have Nine Fingers, Giselle, Dan Luthar, and Glata are forgettable characters in this dark and morally gray fantasy. With secrets revealed and all scores settled, this series blurs the line between hero and villain in the best way possible. I mean, talk about morally great characters. You have them here. Glata is my favorite. I don't get what he says, but I mean, these characters doing bad things in the name of good, questionable, very questionable. So I cannot wait. I read this maybe like 3 years ago or maybe 4 years ago. So I do need to reread The Blade itself, but I just wanted to get back into this world. There's other trilogies that Joe Abercrombie has, and I need to jump into that. So yeah, this is a must for me. The next one is another series that I started. It's actually a trilogy. It's one that I started, but I put it down because it was taking me a long time to read. It is a very slow paced story, but I really loved it. And I didn't have the third book. I think, no, maybe this is a quartet. I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on that. But I really adored the world building, the description, the characters, everything. And that is The Rook and the Rose. And the first book is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I adore this book. And this is set in a Venetian-inspired world. This story of Ren, a con artist infiltrating a noble house, is filled with political intrigue and magic. While the pacing starts slow, the detailed world building and character development make it worthwhile. I'm telling you, it is so worth it. You see the vibe in this cover? It's the vibe that you get when you're reading it. I love the costume. I love the world building. I love the character. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But we follow Red and she's pretending to be someone that she's not. The story was really good, but what happened was it was taking me a long time, and there was other series that I wanted to get to, which I don't think I finished, or DNS, something like that. I can't remember, but I made it to this point. I still have the bookmark, but I will be rereading this because I really love the richness of this world. Like, definitely, highly recommend it. Now we're gonna dive into the last three series that I want to continue on in 2025. These series are ones that I'm really looking forward to get back into or continue on, especially the last one. The last one, if you're subscribed to my channel, you probably will guess which one it is. So, the next series is The Song of the Shadow Sands by Bradley P. Villieu. The first book in the series is The 12 Kings in Sharakai. Sharakai is a desert city ruled by 12 immortal kings. When Shada, a young woman from the slums, breaks the king's laws, she uncovers dangerous secrets that could bring down their rule. I read this back in like 2016, 2017, so it's been a few years. But for whatever reason, I didn't continue, and I think I didn't have, the series wasn't finished at the time, or maybe I didn't have all the books, whatever reason. I'm jumping back in. I will be reading this one. I love the world building. I love the descriptions. I love the characters. There was one in particular that was a little bit annoying, but that's okay. So I read book one, book two, and the novella. You don't need to read the novella, but it gives you kind of like the backstory of some of the characters here. So maybe you should. It won't hurt to read it. So yeah, so I really love this and I cannot wait to continue on. Then the next one is no shocker. This is one that I made a video, and that is the Cosmere, and the first trilogy that I'm reading in the Cosmere schedule that I set for myself is the Mistborn trilogy. I'm not gonna say much. It's part of the Cosmere. My third book, The Age of Heroes. I haven't finished it yet, and I'm really loving it. The political intrigue, the characters, Vin, Ellen, Sasset, Tinsoon, all of Spook, all of them. I really love it. Really good things happening on the third book right now. I don't want to say too much. Sorry if I spoil it. And now to the last series, and this should come as no surprise, and that is The Realm of the Otherlings. I will be starting The Fool's Fate, which is the third book in the Tony Man series, next month in February, and I cannot wait. I enjoyed this trilogy, but not as much as I did the Farseer or the Liveship Trader. But yeah, so far I'm loving it. I'm almost done with The Realm of the Otherlings, which means that I would be picking up other series, and I'm just loving it so far. And things are happening here. I love being back with these characters. We do have some cameos from characters from other trilogies. I don't want to say too much, but oh my god, things are happening. Some things I'm like, oh wow, that is happening. I don't want to say too much. I want to be vague about it, but I'm really loving The Realm of the Everlings, and yeah, I cannot wait to finish it up and just get started all over again, because the experience is gonna be so amazing. Oh, I cannot get enough of these books. So this sums up the series that I want to read and continue on in 2025. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these, or which one should I prioritize. Also, if you want to know how I'm planning to read the Cashmere books, make sure to check out this video. And if you haven't seen my top favorite books of 2024, make sure to check out this video right here. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!